Well, had a pretty interesting day today. Uh, Unfortunately, what made it interesting ate into time to actually help and volunteer, but had a little bit of adventure where the elevator for the apartment building that I'm staying in last night broke down entirely. So I woke up this morning, had to walk down 13 flights of stairs, which was not bad. Got some breakfast, and the real issue began when I walked all the way to Warsaw Central train station to sign up to help again. They asked for my passport, which I figured since I had already signed up with them, I didn't need, and I didn't feel like having it hang around my neck all day because it was already beginning to smell like my body sweat. So I had left it in the apartment. I had to walk all the way uh, back up 13 flights of stairs just to get it. Where, upon doing all that, I decided I was already very, very tired and laid around for about an hour until I recovered. Went back downstairs, realized I was still very hungry because I skipped dinner last night. And so I went and stopped and I got uh, more food from the Green Tea Cafe or something. There's there's two brands of restaurant here in Warsaw. Something it's like the Green Tea Cafe or something, and the other is Costa Coffee. And these things are everywhere. The joke about how much Starbucks there is in America is like actually true here with Costa Coffee. If you are sitting in Warsaw Central train station, you are less than 100 meters from six of them. There are two in the train station, and there are two inside the mall that is right next to the train station. And I'm pretty sure there's one across the street as well, and somewhere else. I forget all the specifics, but Jesus, there's a lot of them. I was exploring the underneath the train station on my way there because I hadn't looked around there, and found that there was a Costa Coffee just sitting there. Walked past it, turned left, and there was another larger Costa Coffee just around the corner, not even like 20 yards from it. So they are everywhere. Anyways, so once I was rested up and got food, I did go back to the Warsaw tent um, and served plenty of food as per normal. Um, Very interesting thing is due to the lack of fountains in Europe, of which there are a lot. Um, in America, fountains are absolutely everywhere. You are federally obligated to have free access water fountains in every single public space. Um, this is not the case in Europe at all. You are expected to buy water. Um, I don't know why it seems weird, but because of this, we have to hand out water bottles at the food tent, which I'm sure we would be doing anyway, but it's made much more annoying by the fact that all of these people are aware that they have to pay for water everywhere else. And to make sure everyone gets some, we try to limit them to one per person. And people do not want to abide by this rule because they want to make sure they have water. So there is a constant struggle of people coming up, and they'll get in line and they'll like argue with you and like, no, 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 give me like three, like my mother's sitting over there and her great grandmother, and also like Houdini is back there, like we all need water. And then there are other people who will just get in line repeatedly because you can have as much food as you want. Um, Even if you bring to go boxes and you just like put it out, like we'll fill it up. Uh, Take all the food you want. But they try to just limit the amount of water bottles each person's getting. And there's people who just get in line, grab a water bottle, get in line, grab a water bottle, or they'll jump back, or they'll wait until you're not looking. And they always, all like everyone, just has a purse that they're just stuffing everything into. Um, it's a little much, and it's very sad that these people have to worry this much about just water. Um, it also gets weird because Um, so I didn't know this, but holy shit, do Eastern Europeans love some hard boiled eggs. And I don't mean in soup or anything, they just fucking love them some hard boiled eggs. Because some guy bought, apparently a nearby store was selling eggs for very, very cheap. I think it was 1,000 eggs for the equivalent of $720. And so we boiled a bunch of eggs. We had them yesterday, but we were splitting them up. But like, we set out a giant thing of eggs, probably uh, 200 or so eggs per container. We boiled a whole bunch of them, set these eggs out, and like, fuck, they go nuts for it. Especially like kids. That's the weird part. Kids are the ones who are going the most nuts over just hard boiled eggs. Um, they go out very, very fast. And people just be like, yeah, I'd like 5 eggs, please. And then just throw them in their purse. Just purse egg for keeping. I mean, it's got an eggshell. It'll keep. So I get it, but it's very strange that the kids will come like flocking up to just the egg station to get some. While I was there, today was uh, my last day for volunteering in Warsaw for right now before I head to Munich. Um, but and I'm not sure if I'll be back, but I'm leaning towards it. It's between that and Krakow, where I'd be doing clothes packing for people. But it's weird because everyone seems to be leaving this area at the same time. Like, there's a whole bunch of regulars at the tent, and really seniority just comes down to who's been there for so long. I think Steve, one of the coordinators, is just a guy who's been around for 8 weeks. He's just done it for long enough that he seems to know what the hell he's doing more than the other people. And then the people who are ironically like running it are just the chefs, and they pretty much just leave it to the volunteers to expedite the actual food. They just sit back there and make it and try not to deal with it too much. They deal on the other side of things, and it's usually works pretty well. But yeah, my foot was hurting from going up downstairs all day, and yesterday since I had done 9 hours and people thought that was ridiculous. I was like I got there like 10. I was like, I might leave at 2. I'll probably try and stay a little longer, but I might leave at 2. And then like 5 other people were like, this is my last day. I'm leaving at 2. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll stay for like at least a little bit past that. And because as soon as those people left, like it became very, very hard to manage. Um, so I had been thinking about going to Krakow until that exact moment, basically. One of the guys even said he had volunteered. The World Central Kitchen has another tent in Krakow, and he said, "Yeah, I volunteered there for a bit, and it's just not nearly as much as being served as in Warsaw. So, not too shame on the a drop in the ocean people doing the clothes, but I might be more needed here than there. At the same time, I can rent a hostel in Krakow for much cheaper than I can get anything here now, because places here get booked up pretty fast and pretty well in advance. I lucked out in this place because I planned it months in advance and I didn't think to get more. Although, when the elevator broke today, I was real leaning toward I'm glad I didn't book more because I wasn't sure how long that was going to take to fix. And I specifically avoided coming back to the apartment for as long as possible, just hoping that they got someone in here before I got back to get it repaired. And I did not know if that was going to happen at all. But it did, thankfully. When I got back, it was finally fixed and I didn't have to worry. I had been planning on I looked up restaurants. I'm trying to find the most Polish places possible to eat, so I can try out some food. Um, and I went to one of them this morning, and I saw some of their food online. But when I got in there, it was all bakery, and everyone's just lining up for the bakery. And I was like, oh, they don't serve that until later, do they? So I just got something out of the bakery, a kanapka, which is basically a chicken sandwich, except just the way it's structured is different. Um, and tastes different. It's like very similar, but it's not there. It's definitely its own thing. Yeah, so I ate that, and I came back to try the food today, and then when I came in to order it, they're like, no, no, that's our breakfast menu. So turns out I'm just an idiot who doesn't understand Polish, so I was not able to order the food. So I instead went back to a very close by place that had caught my eye because the menu was entirely in Polish, but it was also the most aggressively American thing that I'd ever seen, and it was a place called the Barn Burger. And the names of the burgers on the menu are all in English, except for like two or three of them. And they're doing like the whole American thing. They've got like Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and shit playing over the radio, like just hard like rock stuff. And they've got the license plates from around America on the wall. They've like Texas, Illinois, and everything. And they've got their burgers are named like Heart Attack, the Dirty Harry, Popeye, and stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of like Second Amendment crap on the wall, like gun safety number one, always have your gun on you. Um, so I was very very entertained by the idea of ordering the most Polish thing on the menu of the Poles trying to be an American and seeing what that was like. And it ended up being a hell of a good burger that I don't know how to describe because it had like sheep cheese on it and it had like some, I don't know, like pickled onions and like sliced beets maybe, but they also served it with like coleslaw, and it was some good American coleslaw and also barbecue sauce, and it was some good American barbecue sauce. So that was a very interesting experience. Um, but and that was pretty much it for the day. I said goodbye to everyone at the tent. Hope I'll see him again. I'm not sure if I will. That's pretty much part of why I'm giving myself the days in Munich is to decide what exactly I'm gonna do, because I'd like to stay here for as long as possible and spread out my funds. But also, I don't like the idea of staying in an 8-person hostel room for what could be like months. Seems not fun. Uh, but um, I don't know. I might at least stay there for a few days and I can try out cacao. Um, I did make the realization that I've been in Warsaw for 3 days and I have not really seen anything other than the path from my apartment to the Warsaw Central Station, which is especially hilarious because I walk directly by the Palace of Culture and Science every single day. And I looked it up on Google Maps and finally realized I thought it was like a government building or something. And I finally looked up on Google Maps and I saw that it was like a museum thing and it had like free admission. And I was like, all right, I'll go in and check that out. And I went in, and then it turns out the admission is not free. You can walk like right into the very beginning of the building and look around in it for like 20 seconds, and then everything else is a different exhibit they have to pay money for. So I did pay money for the. You get to ride the elevator up 30 floors and look around the city and see just how much there is, of which there is a lot more than I had really considered. I mean, obviously it's a giant city. Um, but yeah, I realized I had not spent much time trying to actually sightsee anything in Warsaw, so I was floated the idea. Someone said, well, why don't you go to Krakow and just spend like 3 days digging around and see what it's like? And they even pointed out that apparently Krakow was mostly untouched during World War II and did not get the hell bombed out of it. So, unlike Warsaw, it's got a lot of much older buildings, which I might like to see. And then if I go to Krakow, I can still try volunteering with a drop in the ocean for a little bit and seeing if I like that or not. So that might be the plan. Um, yeah, all in all, pretty good day. I'm excited to wake up tomorrow and head to Munich. Uh, I hope I gotta make it to the airport on time, because that would be embarrassing if I missed it.